Okay guys, welcome back to another one of these videos where I just kind of sit here and bore you guys for a while. So what I want to talk about is CT positioning, when to fall back, when to get aggressive, that kind of thing. And in particular, what I'm going to talk about here is CT aggression, because controlled CT aggression is something that can lend you a lot of rounds on certain maps. I'm going to look at Overpass as an example, because the thing about Overpass is it's widely known as being a map where you can get super aggressive on your CT side, and the reason for that is because there's 5 pathways to the site. You have A long over here, you have party over here, you have connector over here, you have short, B monster, long, party, and connector. And you could even point to maybe fountain here as an aggression point as well. But there's 5, maybe 6 pathways where you can push through on the CT side. Now, if you think about that, there's five players on the T side, right? So what this means is that the T's have to split up to watch all 5 pathways, or they have to group up. Now, if they group up, that means that one of the pathways is going to be open. So if they put 2 people on fountain, that means long is going to be open. If they put 2 people in connector, that means that maybe fountain or long is going to be open. The alternative is that if they spread out and they have 1 player watching every entrance, you can take 1v1 duels without too much fear of being traded out. And that's a really, really advantageous thing on the CT side, because on the CT side, if you can get that early man advantage, that sort of evens up the round, even gives you a slight advantage. So here's what I mean when I talk about controlled aggression. I'm going to go over and I'm going to look at one of these demos. I'm going to look at the one between SK Gaming and Liquid, because what I want to talk about, one of the players that I want to talk about is Fur, because for those of you that follow the pro scene, you will know that Fur is one of these players. I think this is the round here. Fur is one of these players who's renowned for getting really, really aggressive on this on the CT side. He just in general, even he's one of the most aggressive players that is. So it makes sense that Overpass would be an absolute playground for him. He's constantly just pushing and pushing and pushing, and he's just getting so much information. Even if he's going down, he's just getting so much information. But what's important to note is that he's not just running off by himself. He's still playing with his team. The first thing I want to point out here is connector, because what Fur does here is he's going to exploit it in this round, in essence. An awful lot of times TNC side are just going to leave connector open, or they're only going to have 1 player playing it, which, as you can see here, from the demo is exactly what's going to happen. I'm watching this on a YouTube video because I couldn't find the demo for this round, but it's just such a classic example of exploiting connector. So I'll go back to Noesis in just a second, but he's going to peek back up here onto short. Liquid have managed to take pretty much full short control. He's going to just appear out of connector here. He's going to take the kill onto Nitro, and he's going to fall back. So he's going to take this fight in connector as well and find the kill onto that. So what's the difference there between those 2 plays that he's made? He knows that Liquid have taken short control, so as soon as he finds that kill, he's fallen back. That's what I mean by controlled aggression. He finds the kill and he's gone straight away, but now he's going to find it at the follow-up kill in connector, and he's going to continue on anyway. So why does he do this? Well, the thing about Overpass is that by and large, what teams tend to do is they leave connector either open, or they leave it with only 1 player in it. So what this allows CT players to do is really bully this connector control, because as soon as that player goes down, you can start flanking, and you have control of this map. It's going to allow you for really fast rotate between the sites, for the CT side and that sort of thing. So Fur exploits that in this round, and taking down the connector player. And look at the mini map over here, is that his 2 teammates have taken full short B control. So what he could have done here, just after he found this kill, is he could have fallen, thrown that smoke anyway, jumped out of the door and gone back to his teammates, and then rotated back around through to A. But he knows that there's like a 2% chance that there's going to be another player here in connector, so he's going to push through anyway, continuing with this aggressive playstyle that he's famed for. And this is what I was talking about here. He could have fallen back and then rotated back around to A, but he's just going to continue pushing through here, because in a 5 versus 3, even if he goes down without finding a kill, the CT side still has a pretty advantageous situation in a 4 versus 3. And with this information gained by him, even if he does go down, it's going to make their situation even better. So he's going to continue pushing on through first. He's going to go the whole way around through, and Liquid just are not expecting this. They think that he's long gone, but he's going to find an easy frag onto JDM, and in just a second he's going to find the follow-up onto Elige, who was whiffing a few shots there. So how is this an example of controlled aggression? First of all, when he took that fountain peak really early on in the round, he's flashed in. So his teammate, I think it's Fallen or Coldzera, who is playing from short A, is going to flash him in, which allows him to deal out initial damage without going down on fountain, which is really, really important. So next, when he takes down the player in connector, like I say, he knows it's very, very unlikely that there's going to be another player there. So it makes sense to control that section of the player map. Or to control that section of the map, excuse me. So he's not just pushing mindlessly, it is controlled, it is calculated, and that's what makes Fur so good. And it's worth noting that the only reason Fur is really able to make stupid plays like this is because he is so good mechanically. So not everybody is going to be able to do this and pull it off, but it is something that we could certainly look at as getting aggressive on the CT side, because like I say, it is something that can lend you an awful lot of rounds. But I'm going to go back over here to Noesis, and we're going to take a look at a game against Gambit. So now we're going to look at another round here between SK and Gambit. Again, it's on Overpass, and we're going to see Fur getting aggressive once again. So let me just skip forward here. I'll let this play through, and what we're going to see here is Fur, he's going for this fountain peak, but this time he has a nade in hand, so he's just looking to deal a little bit of damage and then fall off. So he falls off, and he's going to go the whole way around to long. He's going to leave Fallen posted up there in bathrooms with the AWP, and he's going to go around and fight long. Now, look, he's completely isolated here by himself, but he knows that the T side aren't going to be up this far already, and even if they are, they're probably not going to be expecting to be here on this close right wall. So he manages to get the whole way up and tuck himself into this right corner. Yeah, he's going to find this. He finds this first kill onto Mo, who didn't quite check his corners, and he's going to get it. He's going to, after he finds this initial kill, he's going to continue to get aggressive. So he's going to get his teammate, that's Phelps, to flash him in, and then he's going to continue pushing. And what's interesting to note here is that he's now cleared long, but he's going to continue pushing the whole way down long instead of going into bathrooms. So why does he do this? Well, he knows that Gambit likely have party and connector control. In fact, he almost certainly knows, because this utility being thrown by Phelps indicates that SK know that Gambit are pressuring this area of the map. So instead of pushing through into bathrooms to support Fallen, what Fur is going to do is he's going to flank the whole way around long. He's just going to run the whole way down long, and he's gaining so much information for SK right now. He's going to get a little bit fortunate with the timing here, but what the idea here is, instead of just, he's not just frag hunting, he's actively searching for information about the type of hit that's going to come in onto this A site. So he knows right now that long is fully clear, so SK don't need to worry about that. They can focus the two players on the A site. That's Phelps and Fallen. They can both focus on bathrooms and Banana here. And Fur is going to get pretty lick with the timing here. So what he's going to be able to do is he's going to be able to catch Dosha and Fitch in the back as they're rotating. But even if Dosha and Fitch don't fall back here to go back towards B, if Fallen or Phelps go down, Fur is going to be so fast in the rotate that Dosha and Fitch aren't even going to suspect it, and he should be able to find himself 2 easy kills. But as it is, he's going to cut down Dosha and Fitch, who were retreating back towards B, and it's a easy 2 kills for him. So that's something else to look at, is that Fur's aggression, and what your aggression on the CT side should be as well, is not just frag hunting, but more so searching for information, allowing you guys you guys and your teammates to rotate onto the correct site, because that's something that's so important on your CT side, is fast and effective rotates. And with this information that Fur's managed to gather in this round for SK, it really allows them to lock down this A short position and hold off any hit that Gambit might have been trying to pull off. This final round that I'm going to talk about here is again on this Gambit side, but it's a little bit earlier in the game. So Fur is going to get aggressive once again towards his fountain area of the map. And this early information that he gets is what makes him so dangerous as a player, beyond just, his insane mechanical skills and that sort of thing, is the fact that he has the confidence to push these positions early on in the rounds. And so right now what he's done is he's cleared fountain. He knows that fountain is clear. He got there early enough that none of the Gambit players should have gotten by. So what Fallen's able to do is just completely fall back to this A site and just hold from there. He doesn't need to be worried about them getting up long or anything like that. He can just completely commit to this connector angle, which is what he's holding down right now, as Fur is going to continue to push here. But what this means is that these B players can be completely confident in this B hit that's gonna come out from Gambit. They don't need to worry about having to rotate over towards A or anything. They can just be completely focused on this B site. But another factor of Fur pushing so early on in this round is that once this hit comes in from Gambit, which it's going to do right now as they throw these smokes, is that Fur is going to be behind them so quickly. Once again, they didn't even think to check behind them until he's already in their back. So that information that Fur has gathered, first of all, is going to allow Fallen to rotate really early on once, I believe it was Phelps, finds that kill. And even though the duels here aren't going to quite go in favor of SK, Fur is going to be left in a 1 versus 2. The fact that he is behind them so fast means that they don't even get a chance to consider where he's going to be coming from. The bomb's going to get planted, but he plays this absolutely perfectly and is going to be able to find these last 2 kills. So when is the best time to get aggressive then? Pushing when the enemy team is on an eco, for example, it can be like a double-edged sword, because on the one hand it's likely that you're going to get a few kills if the terrorists are split up, but if they're grouped up you'll be lucky to even get 1 before you're dropped. And once you go down, you do have the information for your team, but that's a rifle now in their hands, and that's something that they can use against you. So even though you gain an awful lot of information for your team, you're still going down, you're giving the advantage to them, and you're giving a rifle to them. So what I would say is that in general, a good time to start getting aggressive on the CT side is when you have a good idea of where the terrorists generally play. So if you've played maybe 2 or 3 gun rounds, you have an idea, okay, for their default they're playing 2 towards B, 1 mid and 2 towards A. Then you can start pushing down that mid player, because he's there by himself, so you can send 2 players there to take him down. That's an early man advantage for you. So coming back to overpress here, if there's only 1 player in connector every round, bully him, bring a teammate, take him out, take control of that section of the map. It's going to allow you to stab the enemy team in the back so quickly. It's going to cut off their rotations between sites and that sort of thing. So it's super important to get aggressive on the CT side, especially if you're losing an awful lot of rounds. If playing passive isn't working for you, you need to be able to switch things up, and that it's such an important aspect of CS in general. Every tactical play in CS is the most important thing is that you switch it up, because otherwise the enemy team's going to predict you. You're going to get nade stacked. You're going to get counter stratted. They're just going to rush a site, that sort of thing. So by and large, the most important thing is that you should switch it up.